And then that became, truly a cornerstone of the whole record. And like, that's filthy.
Yeah. Also, just like discovering the sound of the record, where just putting things together, like super distorted, trashy guitars like that with arpeggiating kind of like poppy synths, and then like effects wise on that for the heads, I think it's mainly just the culture vulture we put on it. So that's what it was when we recorded it in mine.
This episode is being supported by Tape It, the iPhone recording app made for musicians by musicians.
Oh man, okay, this app was a kind of a, like, I feel like definitely a cornerstone of the language of this album. Jimmy had been into the Poly 6 for a while, right? You'd been kind of putting it on everything without me really having an understanding of what I was hearing. Yeah, Jimmy just starts playing this like crazy kind of arping line on the Poly 6, and it just like jumped out of the song. It felt so, I remember calling it guilty pleasure. It just had this like yumminess that felt like, I was like, whoa, is that allowed to be in this like sanctimonious sort of like song about my like relationship with my parent? It was like, sounded like, like just this like the yummy like pop music of the kind of mid 2000s that we grew up on. And instantly I was like, like that is just the richness and rawness and like kind of dancing on the edge of poor taste. Like that felt like something that wanted to be happening in this music. And that really sort of like, I was like, hang on, what is this Poly 6? And then that became, truly a cornerstone of the whole record. And Poly 6 is on almost everything, and often takes kind of like center stage in the way that it does here. Yeah,
and this is probably like the first example, or I'll play it with drums maybe so you can hear. But right here.
Like, that's filthy.
Yeah.
Almost is not allowed. I'm like singing about this like crazy subject, but it's so activating on the body. It takes you completely out of your head, and like Can
you solo it for us?
Absolutely. It'd be my pleasure.
I mean, that's nice. And playing around with where the flip is,
Yeah. Where and what notes come where and stuff. And this was another thing too that I feel like, it's kind of could only be Poly 6, but it being like a mono synth, it's like so fun to do a part like that and then just double it to make it stereo, because it's just like this, and then just filling in the other side with it, and then things get kind of slightly out of phase, or maybe slightly are out of tune with one another. It just kind of building stuff from scratch to make it stereo, I think is like a cool thing with the Poly 6. And then like effects wise on that for the heads, I think it's mainly just the culture vulture we put on it. So that's what it was when we recorded it in mine.
Right, okay.
But then we put that on it. It really gives it some bite. But
destroys me.
Yeah, I love it.
I could cry listening to just that. Like, I don't understand it at all, but I could.
Yeah, so I feel like
more plugins as well on top of that. Or?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, it's all like from there. That's probably like doing most of the culture vulture is doing most of like the heavy lifting in terms of like the tone of it. But then from there, just some decapitator, like giving it some more juice and cut. I kind of always use this E setting. I don't know what any of these stand for, but this one always just slices a bit more. A little flanger, kind of bring it back a little. Some EQ. This is best EQ for me. Again, just kind of like, yeah, I love just like the broad strokes with the 550 where it's just like 3 bands, just crank it or, you know, turn it down. It's just like no small move is being made. And then some filter freak, I think, because we do some automation eventually here. Yeah, in the verse, which we'll get to. And then just some reverb. Pretty basic stuff.
This episode is being supported by our good friends at Tape It, the iPhone app made specifically for musicians. If you, like many of our guests, use voice memos, then as far as we're concerned, switching to Tape It is an obvious choice. It's free, and there are a load of features you won't find on Apple's Voice Memos app, including the ability to record straight from your lock screen, set markers, add notes, include photos of settings, and you can easily import your old voice notes, sync to the cloud, and create shared playlists with co-writers and bandmates. So head to the link below to install the app now. And if you want even more, check out Tape It Pro and use the promo code TAPENOTES to receive a whopping 20% off. And now, back to the episode.
And I think, let's see, I mean, what the next kind of big move, you know, in terms of just really like helping the production stuff along, I feel like it's just all kind of like starts to come together here at the second verse more. So we'll just play through some of this. We have things like Dev's guitar.
Oh yeah.
And just some little like
also
swell
destroying
guys.
Yeah. Solo Dev's.
Yeah.
This
it's
seems
just
like
those
being like
4 bars, but it's like does so much.
It hits so heavy. Really feels like childhood to me.
So good.
So pretty.
I remember
And we recorded
out when you
so
played that.
much Dev stuff, and it was sort of hard to prune it all back, but
Yeah, everything was amazing.
yeah, there's a couple of heavy hitting bits.
And that, yeah, the processing in these is pretty basic. Just some little compression, EQ, chorus, start demo.
Died of a broken heart. And for every door you open, there's a room I can't.
This is my favorite part of the song, probably.
I still can't find you. Now that every day.
I think you actually asked, you were like, is it all in the box or out of the box? But it's the one thing in the box is these strings I did in Contact. Just for a little heart.
Which we kind of said is a Virgin thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some fake ass strings.
Night, the room fills up. I tell myself that soon we'll talk. Then I sing.
Yeah, and then
and then Andrew.
is like the
King
next
Andrew.
big thing. So my friend, this was the first thing Andrew played on. Andrew Aged, who's just an incredible human being and guitar player and has such a unique and specific tone. I feel like he was just such a crucial part of the
Pivotal
record.
part of this album, absolutely. Yeah, it was just a really cool texture for us to kind of harness, and you know, with these like incredible players who have such idiosyncrasy, fitting that into my production. I often, you know, am just kind of about like just cherry picking these like small moments of like deep humanity. I'm just like, wow, like someone's just like entered in this crazy way. And Andrew, I feel like is you don't need much because it's so rich and you know, says so much.
Yeah, and so just I'll play through this second chorus, but that's when he makes his first appearance, and it's just these raw cutting, super just ripping guitars.
Soon we'll talk.
You can solo him too. It sounds so fucking good.
Every word just to ya. 'Cause I'm an actress. All of the medals I won for ya.
So that's just these.
Always run into ya, breaking my back to carry the weight of your heart.
And I feel like too that was like a moment also in just like discovering the sound of the record where just putting things together, like super distorted, trashy guitars like that with arpeggiating kind of like poppy synths and then these kind of lush chords through the amp. Like this all just felt all these kind of familiar elements put together in a certain way that just makes the whole thing feel distinct. But like none of it, you wouldn't pick out any of those individually and be like, you know, oh, that's some, you know, really freaky sound design thing or like whatever. But I feel like we managed to like take these familiar elements and put them together in like a new way like that.